Hello, welcome back. We're going to do another blast from the past from Robert Whiting's Japan, which you can always find on robertwhiting.substack.com. Today's article is Gone with the Wind. Gone spelled Ghosn, as in Carlos Ghosn, the former chairman of Nissan Motors. This story originally ran in the Japanese newspaper, the Yukan Fuji, in 2018. Tokyo. The Carlos Ghosn story is the Japanese auto industry version of Bobby Valentine's tale at Lotte. Highly rated and highly paid foreigner comes in, takes over, and revives ailing Japanese organization, then falls victim to internecine jealousy over his compensation and expanding power. In Valentine's case, he came to Japan in 2004 with a $4 million salary, higher than any other manager in Japanese baseball by far, but also with a reputation in MLB as a bold, brash manager with a track record of winning wherever he managed, be it with the Texas Rangers or the New York Mets. He revamped the team's conservative, traditional way of doing things into a looser, more modern approach and led the lowly Marines to a Japan championship, their first in decades, and revised the way the organization did business, offering all sorts of inducement to fans, such as free cha-cha lessons by Valentine himself to increase attendance, selling stadium naming rights, among other things. He was named Executive of the Year in one business poll, the Ideal Boss in another. Yet Lotte never made it to another Japan series, instead descending into mediocrity, and Valentine's pay, over $5 million when endorsements were counted, became a sore point within the organization, as did the Valentine's endless self-promotion. A street outside the stadium was named Bobby Valentine Way. Fans entering the stadium were greeted with a huge video of Valentine welcoming them in Japanese. Huge photographs of Valentine filled the concourse inside. There was Bobby's Sports Bar on the second deck and cakes sold at the concession stands bearing his likeness. Valentine feuded with the new team president, Ryuzo Setoyama, appointed in 2006, who, jealous of Valentine's influence, launched a smear campaign against his Gaijin manager. One thing led to another, and Valentine was ousted in 2009 when his contract was not extended. Team president Hiroyuki Shigemitsu made the decision after a round of golf with former president George W. Bush. Quote, "He was too unorthodox for us," bemoaned the Lotte scion. "He let his players practice in shorts in the summer. It was bad for the team image and club harmony." Ghosn, the brash and brainy Renault SA executive, took over as head of Nissan Motors, a company suffering massive debt and a bad reputation. Ghosn had a reputation as a brutal cost cutter, and he, with Renault, did revive Nissan with a fixation on reduced costs, product improvement, and precise targets, and put together a Nissan alliance with Renault and Mitsubishi Motors, creating one of the world's largest automakers. As a result of his early success, he was lionized in Japan and became a global celebrity, capitalizing on his considerable natural charisma. However, Ghosn's compensation packages, penchant for hogging the spotlight, and a lavish party he threw at the Grand Trianon in Versailles to celebrate his third wedding damaged his image back in frugal Japan. When combined with multiple scandals involving vehicle quality and falsification of records, this caused many of Ghosn's earlier supporters to turn against him, even after he had surrendered the title of CEO to his successor. Ghosn's support for a 50-50 merger with Renault was the nail in the coffin, prompting old guard executives at Nissan, who did not want Nissan to lose its Japanese identity to persuade prosecutors Ghosn was breaking the law. Ghosn was arrested by police November 19th after arriving in Tokyo on his corporate jet on suspicion of understating his compensation in regulatory filings by nearly $50 million and evading income tax. He is also suspected of having failed to report the use of residences in Brazil, France, Lebanon, and the Netherlands without paying rent or reporting that benefit on his tax returns. He was livid, according to a Lebanese acquaintance of mine who was allowed to see him at a special VIP detention center in Kasumigaseki. He refused to sleep in the bed provided for him as a matter of principle, and instead spent all of his time sitting in a chair. Some insiders have speculated this is the doing of the Americans, who put pressure on the Japanese government to retaliate against Ghosn after he refused the request of the US government to close down the Renault auto plant in Iran. Others say it's simply a matter of corporate power struggle, that Japanese executives, like their counterparts at Lotte, simply got tired of having a foreigner in their midst. After all, if every Japanese leader who avoided taxes was thrown in jail like Ghosn, there would be no one to run Japan's companies. I know of one high-ranking corporate executive who bought an expensive mink coat for his mistress, a Ginza nightclub hostess, and wrote it off as a company expense. However, the fact that Ghosn's ex-wife, bitter over his new marriage and the wildly expensive Versailles wedding party, started talking about her ex-husband's finances, was probably the kiss of death. The cost of buying silence became too high. There are a lot of angles to this story, as my friend Peter Miller, the famous artist who lives in Kamakura, says. The generic reputation of the Gaijin boss will probably suffer. These flashy international types who bring foreign pizzazz and unsentimental cost-cutting to their dull as dishwater compadres in the trenches will be discredited, at least for a while. See, they're all crooks, and worse than us will be the standard response. Maybe all that cost-cutting wasn't such a good idea after all. At least the rewards of corruption were more widely distributed. And what really is the merit of that three-headed monster Ghosn created? Have there been any effective synergies amongst Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi other than payoffs to Ghosn and his comrades? How this will turn out in the end is anybody's guess. In Valentine's case, things turned out quite well for him. Shigemitsu went to prison in South Korea after being found guilty on bribery charges, while Valentine was decorated by the Emperor, Order of the Rising Sun, 3rd class. Will something similar happen to Ghosn? The end. Again, this was first done in just right after November 19th, 2018. So that is, it's about a good 5.5 years ago. Anyways, I will be back with more current articles from Robert Whiting's Japan. If you like this, please like, and if you want more, please subscribe. Have a good day.